right. Hey, just want to begin by thanking everybody who, was able to kind of put this thing together on the fly. Our administration for allowing it to happen. IUPUI for being willing inside their own league to come over here and play. Want to thank all the people, the ushers. Every parking attendants, everybody who, didn't necessarily have this on their schedule, but was able to chip in and make this game happen. Kind of on the fly here. It was unique with adding a game in league, but ultimately glad we did. So I just wanted, word of thanks to our administration for making it happen. David Egelhoff did a great job hunting, and there's not many schools that were, willing to step outside of league play and play. So I think it was important, so I want to thank IUPUI as well. Again, I think you lose 3 games and 2 home games, and you want to give your guys a chance to play again. So obviously, this is a game we're playing a team we knew that was in rebuild mode, but this was as much as anything about us continuing to make some improvements in some areas and try to get ready for a really tough matchup on Saturday here.
Chris, what do you take out of a game like this when the score gets to what it is, and like you said, it's a team that's in a rebuild? Well, what can you what can you tangibly take out of a matchup like this?
I think just game repetition. They play this team in particular played a unique matchup zone that we had not seen all year. So getting the chance to, we had to run parts of our offense that we had not run all year. So that's one kind of takeaway. And then I think looking at different combinations, getting guys that had not had game repetition, as much game repetition, getting them game repetition, all those things.
Do you look at this too as a chance for some of those guys that you get some extended minutes, build some confidence, and try to get some things moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they got to earn it, but I think absolutely have those guys that, I thought Jimmy had a good practice yesterday. He's had good practices, played well. I thought Joey Brunk did some really good things. Cedric did some good things. In this era of COVID, you're going to need everybody at any time, and I think that's as much as anything, Adam. You just know you're going to need guys, and you can see in practice, but they feel differently when they do it in games, and gives them a different level of confidence. So, listen, it's not like every year we're going to play, 5 teams that are in complete rebuilding mode, but I think this one was important for those reasons.
You try not to read too much into tonight, but Cedric Russell was a guy that you said at the beginning of the season you thought he might not play his best ball until halfway through the season, and then during the COVID break you said he was one of the guys you wish he hadn't have had to miss those few games. So him tonight tying his season high with 12 points, did you like what you saw out of him, and can this be a building block moment for him? Yeah,
I just think he's got to continue to be really committed defensively to how we play. He's got to really commit himself on that end, and he's got to be ready when his number's called, and I thought he had good aggressiveness tonight, had good pop to him, and listen, he's played well in stretches, important games. In our Wisconsin win, he was critical. Obviously, everybody knows about the Duke game, but those 2 games, he was really important for us.
Was it especially cool to see Harrison get a bucket, his first points of the year, given just 2 days after getting on scholarship?
Yeah, our guys love that. Yeah, they love that. I thought our guys were wanting him to hunt a shot. And it's been a good week for Harrison Hookfin. It's been a good week.
We just talked to Jimmy, and he said Eugene Brown makes opponents feel uncomfortable. He said he does a lot of different things, and he makes guys feel uncomfortable on the other side.
Who said that?
Jimmy said that about Eugene. What do you think about that, and how do you feel about his play today, Eugene's?
Yeah, I thought his play was good and something he can continue to build upon. I thought he's got to embrace the idea of being a guy that can guard multiple positions and be really good and detailed on that end and play with great effort and rebound the ball and then make open shots. He's not, he doesn't need to hunt shots on this team because we have enough offensive weapons, but he's got to be a great cutter offensively and embrace what we're asking defensively.
It seems like, kind of piggybacking off that, but Gene out of that second half, he kind of represented like a level of physicality that, an intensity out of the break. Is that kind of what you saw too in those first minutes? And what did he do to kind of set the tone for the better there in that second half?
Yeah, I thought he did. He is got good length. He's got a big body. He's got a physicality to him. He's got to take care of the ball. When he struggled, he's not always taking care of the ball, but he did bring a real physicality that we needed. His ability to get on the glass is really important for our team.
And also with EJ, it seems like there was a fire, especially in those first few minutes on the glass, like whether it was offensive boards, just rebounds in general. It seemed like that's kind of what you guys needed from him tonight. What does that mean for him to provide that kind of versatile look?
For EJ?
Yeah, EJ.
Yeah, I thought EJ did some good job on the offensive glass. He needs to continue to get better in that area, but I thought he did a good job on the offensive glass tonight. Again, I think he's got to continue to get better in that.
Chris, EJ is 12 points away from 1,000 career points. From your perspective, obviously that'll mean a lot to him. What does it mean to you as somebody who recruited him? You get to watch him every day. What does it mean to you to see him? He's going to get there. What does it mean to see him get there?
Well, listen, EJ is he's such a special kid. He's such a special player, and I think there's going to be a few tears shed in the Holtmann house, and a lot of homes when he moves on. Because he's beloved by us, he's beloved around here. He's a tremendous kid who is also a really talented player, and he allows us to push him and challenge him in areas, and I think that's the sign of a really good kid and a really good player. So there's not a bigger advocate for EJ than me, and I want every good thing that comes his way because I know he's going to work for it and is continue to put in the work for it. And I'm excited to see when he crosses that 1,000-point barrier, and I think it'll be a great individual honor for him.
And then I don't want to get too in the weeds here, but Cedric hit a 3 up 26, and then Jimmy came down and took a charge on the defensive end. Eugene has 13. To get that kind of production from those guys, I know you don't want to put too much stock in this kind of game, but Are you starting to feel a little bit better about the depth at the guard position, especially you don't have Michi right now, and those guys are still able to go out and do that? Yeah,
I think that was good to see. Again, it's important to keep in mind, we were playing a young team, but it was good to see with those guys. I thought those guys did a good job. I thought the 2 charges by Jimmy and Ced were great.
You've been asked a lot about Justin's shooting. You don't start him to start the second half. What went into that? And this seems like a game where maybe he could have started to get right, but still struggled a little bit. What was just kind of your message with him? Yeah,
I think he's just got to cut loose and play. He's got to play with. I think he's got to play with a little more juice, a little more confidence to him, and. I think he's probably overthinking it a little bit. He's a tremendous shooter. I really don't worry about it at all. I think he's going to hit his stride, and it's the least of my concerns. The least of my concerns is Justin Arnn shooting.
Is he making them in practice? Are you seeing what you need to see from him outside of these games?
Yeah, he shot it well in practice. He's really shot it well in practice. Now, in practice, it's like league play. They don't leave him a whole lot, but he shot it really well in practice.
I want to ask about Justice. Seemed like maybe he was out there before the game and shooting a little bit. You're down to like 13 games, I think, left in your regular season. It seems like, still quite a few. Is there any talk about and correct me, is he eligible? Could he come back whether he plays every game the rest of the way, or what are his options? And what's the discussion currently on what's the next step for him?
Yeah, he is eligible for the additional COVID year. That'll be a conversation he and I will have. I think he's taking it one step at a time, Steve, and kind of evaluating how he feels. He's getting closer. He's getting close to returning to practice, which that's always obviously, close to returning to games. So, listen, that's been as disappointing. It's probably been the most I've been disappointed for a kid in maybe 20 years of coaching. Just that and a young man we had at Butler when I was an assistant. Such a good player. I think he has not reached his ceiling as a player. So important for our team, and as you mentioned, he's missed a chunk of games. So I'm optimistic, but I think he's taking it one step at a time. We'll sit back after the season and evaluate if it's best for him. We'd love to have him back, but he's got to feel like it's right.
Same question, Seth Towns, kind of the same concept here.
Same thing. I think Justice is probably a little further along than Seth in his recovery. I'd see his return to play a little bit sooner than Seth. But same thing with Seth. They'll have to decide if it's best. Seth's a little bit older than Justice, so they'll have to decide if it's best for them to return.
With that one, just because of the history of injuries that seem to follow him everywhere he goes, do you start that conversation with him a little bit earlier of maybe him playing it all this year, maybe just wherever he wants to keep playing basketball at this point?
Yeah, I think they both want to try to play if they can this year. I know they both do. But if we get closer and it looks like one of them can't return or doesn't feel themselves and need to shut it down, then we'll have that conversation. But listen, given just COVID and all that, if guys want to play, I'm certainly gonna be open to that, because we're already down considerable numbers right now, just with with Michi being out. And those are three important guys for us. So.
As far as numbers go, Jamari left, went to the locker room for a little bit, and I know the score was what it was, and Malachi's played a lot of minutes lately. He didn't play for like the last 14, 15 minutes. Are those guys okay?
Yeah, they're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, Jamari just banged his foot a little bit, but he's fine. Yeah, Malachi, I just think get him. We had some other guys that needed to play.
And when you have a week like this, where you've got 3 home games in 7 days, and you're coming off some tough games on the road, what does this week allow you to do? Are you getting 2 games into this? Are you getting what you would like to get out of some of these opportunities to try some things and to get some looks at some guys, maybe build some confidence?
Yeah, I think so. I really want to have good preparation going into Saturday. That's a really important game for us, and obviously a team that really pushed us and is talented and well coached. So that's turning my focus to, we'll see how the week finishes up for us.
Coach, thanks.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a good night.